everybody. For those who don't know me, my name's Gary Grove, I'm the CEO of JewishCare. And before we start, I'd like to welcome our guests. I'll pull them out during the presentation. I won't introduce them now, but welcome and thanks for attending today. But before we continue, can I just welcome up Dean Witters, who will do our Welcome to Country. I'm told Dean is an NRL legend, is what they call him. But he's here. And thank you for coming today, Dean, to do the Welcome to Country. Thanks, Dean.
Yagadanya Emburunga, Yinga Oya Jiganewana, Yinga Iwata Kata, Naka Regiona Amadani, Malarindi Ratani, Kiuna Enda, Gadigu, Birabirigu, Daru, Kiuna Enda, Nyaka Awa. I'm from the Anawan people. We come from northern New South Wales, a place called Armidale, beautiful place up there, holiday destination. My Nan's people are the Emburunga people. We come from a place called the Mullarindi, and Mullarindi is the place of beautiful waters. But there was a place called Inglebarn, and my grandmother was part of the stolen generation, and when she got taken back to our area of the Anawan people, she got taken to Inglebar, which was the way she described it to me when I was a kid. And when I was first going to Inglebar to visit, I thought I was going to a theme park because my nan described it so fondly. But I got down there and it was just a paddock in the middle of nowhere. But my nan's fondness with that area because it was the first place that she felt like home. Now the Anawan people, there's over 400 different tribes that make up Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Australia. The Anawan people are the strongest and the best looking out of all of them. Now, an important thing for me today is just around acknowledgement to Welcome to Country. I did an acknowledgement to country and acknowledge the different groups, the Birabirigal, the Gadigal, the Dharawal, that all take care in the care of this land for over hundreds of thousands of years. And people will ask, why would you do an acknowledgement to country or Welcome to Country? Why is it important? Well, it's very important for me. Obviously, my people have deep-rooted connection to these lands for a lot of time. And if you think about that deep-rooted connection, we're welcoming you and acknowledging our connection and our relationships with this land. And we're giving you access to those relationships. It's the same way if someone came into your house and they were a visitor, you'd walk them through their house and say, you know, you can sleep in this room, this is the boys' room, they're not here. You can sleep in there, but that's my daughter's rooms down there, please don't go there. You can go out into the lounge room and sit and lounge and watch television, watch anything you want, but don't touch the vases on there because they belong to my wife's grandmother who passed away a few years ago, so they're very important. Same as the fridge. You go to the fridge, you can eat anything you want, but don't touch the almond milk because that's what me and my wife use for when we have coffee. So we're giving you access to all the different relationships of how things are done around here to keep you safe. And also make sure everyone else is safe and that we're not breaking any of those traditional laws. Also, the second part of an acknowledgement and welcome, I believe, is important, is that we look around Australia today, it's a very multicultural country, and we live in one of the greatest countries on earth. It's a very special place. But if you consider the people who have paid the ultimate sacrifice for that, that's my people. My people have paid a heavy price to be able to give us what we have today. And I think it's always important that we just pay that little second of respects and acknowledging that past. And by doing those brief 1 minute or 2 minute things that we can do in meetings every now and then, I believe it just opens people's minds up to what could become a better future. So they would be the important reasons why I say that we do an acknowledgement of Welcome to Country. And I want to thank you for inviting me in today to give you those brief explanations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dean, for that. And I too just would like to acknowledge our traditional custodians of the land that we're meeting on today, the people of the Eora Nation, and pay my respects to our elders past, present and emerging. My 18-year-old daughter just come back from an immersion trip in the Northern Territory where she spent 3 weeks with a number of clans, and I must say, her expression to me when she got back was, I had no idea of the richness that she'd learnt from those groups, and to take away 15, 18-year-olds out of Sydney into what I'd call traditional lands was just really insightful. So thanks, Tim. Okay, so thanks for coming today. We're going to talk to you about our new HEART program. I'm going to take you through some of the strategies or initiatives. You're not going to see all of them today because you'll be highly confused and walk out going, I don't remember a single thing he said, rather the most important ones that the committee thought really permeated what you said in your feedback. So we'll recall some time ago we had a wellbeing survey that you completed, and one of the biggest things was that leaders demonstrate wellbeing is important. We were around 52% compared to the industry average was 78%. So what that told us was, one, we need to be more present in the work that you do. And two, the other thing you said to us was that your occupational wellness was also important, particularly post-COVID. And so what we wanted to do was actually go, well, what isn't the things you want anymore that usually kind of see in a wellness package. So one of them was you're not too keen on attending after-hour social events. You want more practical support that focuses on you and career advancement. And the last one was the new generation of JC staff see wellness as an outward expression. That is, doing something at work that's more for a social cause or a charity. And that's quite a common theme around the non-for-profits right now, about giving, whilst you give back already in your workday, it's about how do you give back to another charity or cause that you're really interested in. However, to get to this point, in order to announce the wellness strategies today, we needed what's on my right, which is the new values, or some of the older values that have been revised to really guide the work we do. It's absolutely accurate to say that if you have good values in a workplace, you have a really motivated workforce. That's why you come to work. And you will see the values that we've come up with really illuminate your thoughts. So this wasn't set in a conference room for 3 hours working out the values. This was you telling us what you believe was the most important. Ms. Posher, I hope I've represented that right, really about a sense of family, which is what JewishCare is all about. Being CHESS, which is being kind and having humanity and care. Being professional, so really aiming for excellence in the work we do. Integrity, being transparent, and inclusivity, we are more diverse in practice. And diligence. And I suppose we want to see these in everything you do at work. And the words are great. They are nothing unless you can associate a behaviour to them. So integrity to me might mean something very different to what it means to you. So the idea is to always have these at front and centre. The other thing is we want our clients to see what we come to work for. And at the moment, whilst you all come to work because you want to make a difference, people need to see it and breathe it as well. So you're going to start to see these everywhere. I make no mistake that you might see them on the back of a toilet door, just as a friendly reminder. More importantly, they'll be in your meetings, your workplace, in our recruitment advertisements, because to give you an example, I was doing an interview last week. My first question was, where do you see yourself in JewishCare, and what are the values that attract you to JewishCare? And it really makes people think about, why did I apply for this job, besides having a skill set?
Sorry, that's known as override.
So I really ask that. There's a lot of work that's gone into this. These will be around for a very long time. Please embrace them, because it is the foundations of your workplace. Let's get into what we're launching. So the first one is HEART, so health. One of the things you said to us is, one size doesn't fit all. So when you talk about wellness is very individualised. So we cut the strategies into two, one for frontline staff and one for office staff, because clearly there's some differences. We're launching wellness at work, so frontline staff will receive what we call a self-care package. A self-care package will be up to $500, I get that right, up to $250 for full-time, and it's prorated if you're part-time or casual. The idea behind that is you should come to us and tell us what makes you happy, what makes you well. And it might not be going for a walk, it might be getting a massage, it might be going to the movies, whatever it looks and feels like for you is what we want you to embrace. And on top of that, the physical wellness at work. Sonica's here today. Sonica? On Mondays, we'll have 2 sessions of Pilates, and then 6 weeks later yoga, or whatever that looks and feels like. The idea is to have something here for you, but for all staff, but for you to go and do something for yourself. The good bit that got people excited yesterday when I was talking to the OLG, the Operational Leadership Group, was we will have someone come in and do massage just on your shoulders whilst you're at work, and if the field staff want to come in, we'll offer that as well, just as an added incentive. Flexible working hours, so we kind of heard you loud and clear. You all have your own work and personal lives, and trying to work and manage your personal life sometimes is difficult. So we wanted to introduce what we call flexible working core hours, which means we want you here between the busy times, 10 to 4, but we want to be flexible outside those hours. So you can start early and finish at 4, you can start at 10 and finish later, just so it gives you time in the morning to go to your doctor's appointments, the gym, the family, walk the dog, whatever that looks and feels like. Not a new concept. The government has this already and it works fabulously well. What we're saying to you is pick the times and the hours you want to work with your manager, have a schedule in place and embrace it, because flexible working hours really start to look at a work-life balance. So the next one is empathy, being sensitive and responsive to community. The ARC, I hope I mentioned that, being together. Today we're launching the inaugural Diversity and Inclusion Group. It really is looking at an organisation that focuses on CALD issues, our Jewish culture, and LGBTQI communities. One of the things I think went missing during COVID was all the things we used to do here together as a group. And so we want to reintroduce that, have a schedule of events, but also start to look at how we be more diverse in the community and in our practice. This committee is not another committee, it's a structural committee, which means, like the senior executive team, it never goes away. It's a committee that will really guide the cultural diversity in JewishCare. It'll be championed by Karen Sandler, who is one of the board members, and managed by Luca, and a committee of which we have our office staff, but we're looking for volunteers from the field to provide and participate in that committee. We'll have Claire Allen, who's disappeared for a couple of minutes, but she'll be back. She's the national program from the Pride Index Health Wellbeing, and she's here to talk to us about how we can be more diverse and inclusive, and she'll be down the back with Luca to talk through that. The next one, which you should all get excited about, is another thing that went missing during COVID was being able to socialise as a team face to face. So we totally acknowledge that you were loud and clear with us that you really wanted to do things like team picnics. So we are going to embrace that and hold team picnics in November, November being not too hot, not too cold. And you can do it how you want to do it. We'll fund that activity, but it's for frontline and office staff. But again, it'll be up to you to do that, not us to dictate how you do it. So that'll be the month of November. The Hall of Fame, which is another one where we had an AGM. AGMs are really exciting, not really. And whilst we celebrate achievements in the AGM, we really wanted to look at how we celebrate you and how we can actually look at what a Hall of Fame or an awards night looks like. So that will occur towards the end of the year as well. For staff who really have gone above and beyond their day job to provide services to our clients and consumers. And the last one is mentoring session with the board members, which was, again, another one that come up quite often going, we have a really talented board. We don't really embrace their expertise enough. So there'll be an opportunity, if you'd like to be mentored by one of the board members, we'll be able to, or I'll be able to facilitate that for you as well. Now I know you're all saying, I bet there's lots of process that sits behind that. So we also heard you loud and clear that you want to kind of reduce the red tape of applying for everything we're talking about now. It'll be on JNet. There's a simple process where you fill out a form, your manager approves, and it starts to roll. So please don't think you have to fill out 6 pages to get permission. We've tried to make this as streamlined as possible. The next one is recognition, is being truly seen and valued. So one is professional development. So again, $500 pro rata if you're full-time, for all staff to contribute towards their professional learning development. This is really important for you So this is above and beyond your mandatory training, above and beyond what we need you to do. This is for you to do what you believe is going to help you in your career advancement. We have Natalie Hull from TAFE, New South Wales. Natalie has already helped us recruit a number of people through a Zoom session I did with TAFE a few months ago. In fact, I think we have one person here already from that recruitment drive. Natalie's going to speak about what TAFE offer, along with community services and other courses. So please gravitate across to Natalie if you've got any questions. Again, we're willing to commit $500 to you for your professional development outside of those mandatory courses. The next one was speed meets. I think Kira suggested speed dates. I thought I'd kind of separate myself from dating all of JewishCare. The idea is, part of the feedback you gave me and the set and others was you want more access to us. So frequently I will make myself available probably downstairs in the visitors room for a few hours every month. It was quarterly, but the feedback we received only last week was that's not enough. A few hours every month for you to come and have a chat with me. It's not a complaints line, by the way. It's for you to just come and have a chat and talk about what you're doing, and the set will make themselves available as well. And quarterly will be a much bigger group for you to talk to us. But you'll also see us starting to work in your workplace. We have what we already have in place called a day in the life of, where we go out and work with you, especially the frontline staff. We've done that already, and we'll continue to do that because it's highly insightful. The last one, training, which is an occupational investment in you. Go One, you've heard me harp on about this a lot. Go One gives you access to 80,000 online courses that you can do in your own time that actually covers everything you can actually absolutely think of. I guarantee if you asked me today, I'd probably say I bet it's on there. It's contemporary, it's up to date. And the idea was to give you even more access to your L&D than what we can offer you. It's free, you get online. We also will add our mandatory courses on there, so you can just use one system and one platform. It records what you do. So if you want us to keep a record of the kind of courses you're doing, we can record it as well. That's really important, and we did have someone from Go One, but she's not well, so our next best person, Mimi, will be able to answer most of your questions. It goes live next week or the week after. This is not a thought bubble. We've invested heavily financially in this platform because it works, so I really encourage you to use it. And the last one was a personal agenda of mine, was to really drive the leadership qualities of JewishCare. It's probably the single biggest investment JewishCare has ever had in its leaders, and it's important because leaders and leadership drives growth and motivates our upcoming leaders. We've already started this program, started last week, and the feedback I've got already is that it is excellent, and it goes beyond 12 months. So whilst you can sit in a course, this is very much about emotional intelligence and how you are a people leader. And then the next step is, if this is successful, roll it out next year to our future leaders. So we have a succession pathway for JewishCare and for people who want to actually come and work for us in the future. So that is some of the incentives. Some of the other ones that we are considering putting in place in the second half of this financial year will be that going to go and work in another Jewish organisation for a day to experience and feel what they do. We are launching the paid volunteer day, which is you can go and spend some time in another organisation of your course or of another charity. So it's paid leave for you to do that one day a year. So that'll be on ESS, you'll be able to click down, it'll say volunteer leave, you'll be able to take that, again, through a quick process. Really big thing for us to do that, but it's the right thing to do in particular for the organisation that we work in. So, you have Natalie from TAFE, we've got Sonika to talk about wellbeing, Eliza is Mimi, and Claire Allen will be here down the back. Today was all about you going and engaging with them. I didn't want all of them to get up and talk about their wares because this is more about you individually. So I really encourage you over the next 20 minutes to go and have the chats. There are lots of freebies at the tables. They are yours to take. If you've got any other questions after this, my presentation will be on JNet shortly and the process that sits behind it for each of the initiatives we've announced today. I kind of can't reinforce the importance of this. It's extremely important. It's never been done here, but it's the right thing to do. We do it for two reasons. One, we want to keep you, and the other one is we want to actually attract a workforce as well to JewishCare. And the only way you attract a workforce is if you listen to your workforce and you motivate your workforce. So I'd like to thank Jade and the team. Jade kind of spearheaded this out of hours with a team of people who came from everywhere to give us advice. If you have a look up in the conference room upstairs, there is butcher's paper everywhere with lots of interesting ideas. We kind of had to cull down to what are the biggest and the best things we think you'd get the most from, which is what you've seen today. I'll leave this with you. Please spend the next 20 minutes. Loretta and Clancy, thank you for providing the music. That will continue. Enjoy whatever's left outside, which is not a lot. And thanks for coming today.